I would like to thank one of my subscribers, Yoruba Gary. Thank you so much for this story. One of my subscribers that's been with me practically since the beginning. I appreciate you. So, this young man was found hanging in Orlando, Florida. Nevan Baker. And we know what they do. It's a suicide. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Orlando Centennial, October 9th, 2020. Black man found hanging from tree at Orlando Park, ruled suicide. Family says, we're not going to let this go. I don't blame them. Family members of a black man who was found hanging from a tree this past weekend says they believe his death was not a suicide, as the Orlando Police Department and Medical Examiner Office have initially determined. They always do. You know why? Because they don't want to open up a federal investigation, and this is how they get around it, by ruling it a suicide. So it's a suicide, no investigation. He just gets funeralized and buried, and that's the end of it. You can't let your oppressors be the investigators, because they're going to quite naturally always find themselves not guilty. Nevan Baker, 22, was found dead Sunday at about 3:45 a.m. in Barker Park near Camping World Stadium and the Washington Shores neighborhood, hung by a rope from a tree, according to OPD. Okay, so this is what they wrote in their case report. Alarming circumstances that his family and many in the Orlando community say deserve increased scrutiny. I'm not done with this situation. It's just beginning. Sharhonda James, Baker's mother. Nobody's going to stand for this in this community. OPD spokeswoman Autumn Jones says Thursday the investigation has concluded with the determination of a suicide. A case synopsis from the medical examiner, which OPD released Friday, ruled the manner of death a suicide. They do this in every single case, and we know these folks are lying. They're lying big time. The Orlando Sentinel requested the medical examiner's autopsy report, but the agency said the final report has not been completed. The Sentinel has also requested photos from OPD of the scene and the body, because James said she noticed injuries, including swelling on his nose, bumps on his forehead, and a misaligned jaw. So he did all of that in a suicide, huh? Oh boy, y'all are bad at lying. When she saw the body in the morgue, the Sentinel does not intend to publish the photos. Yeah, because people are going to see what that mother saw. You don't want that. My son didn't hang himself, James said. I know my child. James said she requested that OPD let her see any photos or videos from the scene of her son's body from the night of his death, but that has not. So they haven't done this. So the mother made the request to see these things, and they have not given these things to her. I mean, that should say it all right there. That should say it all right there. I mean, this is her son. She has the right to anything in regards to him. A police report, photos, videos, or anything they have at their fingertips. She is entitled to it. We're not letting this go. The community is not letting this go, James said. She said she has no reason to believe her son committed suicide. I believe this mother. But Jones said there were absolutely no other injuries to the body. So she is saying pretty much a lot of the injuries were to his face. Okay. Police have exhausted all leads, and at this time, there is no evidence of foul play and any kind of physical struggle, OPD posted in a statement Friday afternoon. Well, then, if that's the case, why not just give the mother the photos and videos that she's requesting if there's nothing to see here? Y'all full of crap. You can't trust nothing these folks investigate. You'd have to be crazy to believe anything they say. This is a tragic case of suicide. We are keeping the victim, his family, and friends in our thoughts during this difficult time. After OPD, officers were called to the park. They attempted to life-saving measures, but were unsuccessful. The OPD case report said officers then spoke to people in the area, including the man who found Baker while walking his dog and a man who'd been sleeping nearby under a park pavilion. None said they knew what led to his death. All right, the news of his death has sparked a furor on social media, and many reject OPD's explanation and describing Baker as a victim of lynching. And I agree, he certainly is. Some have railed behind the hashtag Justice for Nevan, calling for more investigation. So they do have a GoFundMe for him. I'll see if I can post that in the description. And it said it had soared past $3,600 since Friday afternoon. The GoFundMe set up by Baker's sister said the death left her family with many questions. She wrote that her brother was a good kid with aspirations of becoming an electrician. James said her son was a gentle soul and who had graduated from Jones High School. He lived with her and the grandmother at their home not far from Baker Park. And she said they had seen him just hours before he was found dead. James said she doesn't trust OPD. I don't trust them either at this point to conduct a thorough investigation into his death. Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget all of the other brothers and sisters this past summer that were found hanging, and the ruling is always the same: suicide. This summer, across the nation, multiple Black people were found fatally hung in public places, and their deaths ruled suicide by law enforcement. Isn't that something? And they're very consistent about this too. Okay, despite we have evidence historically of gatherings of white people and whole towns coming out to watch a Black man get brutalized and lynched. But today that's all changed. It's all suicide today. These people must think we're crazy. You got to be crazy if you think we believe you. Okay, but concerning circumstances, all right, so we know the traumatic history of racist lynchings of Black people, including in Central Florida. And we should never, remember, we should always remember it because historically these people don't change. Whatever you've seen them do in the past, they do to this present day. They never change. There is something that in the United States that's happening. This isn't just a rare incident in Orlando. No, it's more common than rare. Don Laurie, an Orlando activist who has become a leader in the local demonstrations for racial justice. All of these Black people are being found hung in a park. It's very, very suspicious that this is happening. Lori and other community leaders have planned a remembrance this Sunday for Baker, when they also plan to call for increased transparency and a more comprehensive investigation into the death. You know what? You just can't trust the same people that have historically treated us wrong to do a legitimate investigation. Their investigation is going to be suicide. They're already telling you this from the beginning. You really have to hire a private investigator firm, somebody not attached to this case, and see if you can get some traction on this thing. But the same people that have done this historically, man, please, I wouldn't believe nothing they say regarding the hanging of anything, including a dog. I wouldn't trust their investigation into that. But y'all, please tell me what you think. This is just ridiculous. This man should be here with his family and the people that love him. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.